Silence, all stand. All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh and give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Admission of lawyers. Katie Mary Ahern.
May it please the Court, I move that Katie Mary Ahern be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Katie Mary Ahern be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vladimir Ambrose.
May it please the Court, I move that Vladimir Ambrose be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vladimir Ambrose be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jag Appleby.
May it please the Court, I move that Jag Appleby be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Jag Appleby be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Carla Rose Ayub.
May it please the Court, I move that Carla Rose Ayub be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Carla Rose Ayub be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eloise Kate Beckervac.
May it please the Court, I move that Eloise Kate Beckervac be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eloise Kate Beckervac be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Anna Catherine Boucher.
May it please the Court, I move that Anna Catherine Boucher be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Anna Catherine Boucher be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
John Gerard Buhaja.
May it please the Court, I move that John Gerard Bahaja be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let John Gerard Bahaja be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jamie Alinta Coleman.
May it please the Court, I move that Jamie Alinta Coleman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jamie Alinta Coleman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rebecca Hien Wan Edwards.
May it please the Court, I move that Rebecca Hien Wan Edwards be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rebecca Hien Wan Edwards be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Now Yu Fang.
May it please the Court, I move that Now Yu Fang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Now Yu Fang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vanessa Ann Farrer.
May it please the Court, I move that Vanessa Ann Farrer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vanessa Ann Farrer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Carl Bernard Gerstel.
May it please the Court, I move that Carl Bernard Gerstel be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Carl Bernard Gerstel be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Matilda McKinnon Hartwig.
May it please the Court, I move that Matilda McKinnon Hartwig be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Matilda McKinnon Hartwig be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Min Duong Nat Huang.
May it please the Court, I move that Min Duong Nat Huang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Min Dong Nat Huang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Talia J. Jackson.
May it please the Court, I move that Talia J. Jackson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Talia J. Jackson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Connor William Jarvis.
May it please the Court, I move that Connor William Jarvis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Connor William Jarvis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Victoria Joanna Jordan.
May it please the Court, I move that Victoria Joanna Jordan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Victoria Joanna Jordan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Harris James Kershaw.
May it please the Court, I move that Harris James Kershaw be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Harris James Kershaw be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chin Feng Barton Lau.
May it please the Court, I move that Ching Feng Barton Lau be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chin Feng Barton Lau be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Stephanie Li Hui Lee.
May it please the Court, I move that Stephanie Li Hui Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Stephanie Li Hui Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christy Wing Tung Lee.
It's wonderful.
Diane.
I just called
Done Young. That's the next one.
Da Young Lee.
May it please the Court, I move that Da Young Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Da Young Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oscar Yu Hui Lu.
Yep, 2.
I just So we've just done.
Christy Wing Tung Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Christy Wing Tung Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christy Wing Tung Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Xin Yu Liu.
May it please the court, I move that Xin Yu Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Xin Yu Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Oscar Yi Yu Hui Liu.
May it please the court, I move that Oscar Yu He Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Oscar Yu He Liu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chi Han Johnson Man.
May it please the court, I move that Chi Hon Johnson Man be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chi Hon Johnson Man be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jeffrey William Mendelson.
May it please the court, I move that Jeffrey William Mendelson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jeffrey William Mendelson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Liam Nathaniel Paul Mountford.
May it please the court, I move that Liam Nathaniel Paul Mountford be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Liam Nathaniel Paul Mountford be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dominic Simone Perry.
May it please the court, I move that Dominique Simone Perry be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Dominique Simone Perry be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Courtney Rose Reelan.
May it please the court, I move that Courtney Rose Reelan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Courtney Rose Reelan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jonathan Stephen Salant.
May it please the court, I move that Jonathan Stephen Salant be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jonathan Stephen Salant be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel Richard Anthony Schmidt.
May it please the court, I move that Daniel Richard Anthony Schmidt be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniel Richard Anthony Schmidt be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Taylor Alice Schrader.
May it please the court, I move that Taylor Alice Schrader be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Taylor Ellis Schrader be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily May Louise Smith.
May it please the court, I move that Emily May Louise Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily May Louise Smith be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mailing Song.
May it please the court, I move that Mai Ling Song be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mai Ling Song be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ingrid DeWitt Steer.
May it please the court, I move that Ingrid DeWitt Steer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ingrid DeWitt Steer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Clara Sophie Streithorst.
May it please the court, I move that Clara Sophie Streithorst be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Clary Sophie Streithorst be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Catherine Shui Yong Tang.
May it please the court, I move that Catherine Shu Yong Tang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Catherine Shu Yong Tang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jeremy Sebastian Yu.
May it please the court, I move that Jeremy Sebastian Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jeremy Sebastian Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jacqueline Rita White.
May it please the court, I move that Jacqueline Rita White be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jacqueline Rita White be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ji Yan.
May it please the court, I move that Ji Yan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ji Yan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
MD Mashuz Zaman.
May it please the court, I move that MD Mashuz Saman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let MD Mashuz Saman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jeffrey Zhao.
May it please the court, I move that Jeffrey Zhao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jeffrey Zhao be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alec Zhao Kolpan.
May it please the court, I move that Alec Zhao Kolpan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alec Zhao Kolpan be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Thank you, Registrar. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today to my right is Justice Ward, who is the Chief Judge of the Equity Division of the Court, and to my left, Justice Stevenson, who is a member of that division. Together, we constitute the court that has, in exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration physically dispersed, I would like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony was probably different to what you were expecting. These are challenging times when you are unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission conducted remotely reflects the agility and adaptability which you will need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. This is a time for celebration. You've all worked extremely hard to get to this point, through caffeine-fueled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook and more cases than you can hope to remember. You have entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered the mysterious reasonable person, and have understood that the Constitution consists of so much more than just the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old tradition with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admissions oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you that feels how long it's been that you've been studying. For many of you, in those circumstances, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. And no doubt they have also often been on the receiving end of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I do hope you take the time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation you have made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity and your commitment to justice. It is in acknowledgement of this weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. On a lighter note, on one occasion some years ago, a young member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. Regrettably, I had to disappoint her. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging, although some members of the public don't believe that. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a bit, as you can see today. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology. Things did not always go as smoothly as we would like, as those with me on the bench can undoubtedly attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication and fairness to participants. And occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implications for how our legal system interacts with many people, including those in rural and remote areas, those with a disability, medical conditions or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you are at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we consider the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practising certificate in New South Wales and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court, and, for example, amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court. On the other hand, it is heartening to see that the local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates, but we must not be complacent about these issues. There are other noticeable diversity concerns that we must face head-on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession from people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of a law degree, which this year has again increased, or because of other systemic issues, is troubling. Not just this, but we'll only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who've been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers who are entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out against unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair laws, or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will steer the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regard to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a handful of lawyer jokes, the rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice, along with the other ethical duties you must uphold. Now that you're lawyers, you can get paid to argue instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You're an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum as a series of abstract concepts, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, you must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur. This is foundational to upholding the rule of law. For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have a profound consequence for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make the law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the sole object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to split that infinitive? Use, say, aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, tautologies and wordy clauses that take up a whole page and sometimes more? The answer to those questions is obviously no. The best advocates make their points simply and succinctly. Now, I must confess that some of the more experienced judges and lawyers could use that reminder from time to time, but don't base your writing on what you read from them. I also want to speak about failure. I would not be surprised if there are quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching this live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can and learn from those errors. You must fail at times in order to grow. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. Now, I myself have made many mistakes over the years, far too many to remember, even though my colleagues often take pleasure in reminding me of them. But even as Chief Justice, my decisions have, on, I'm pleased to say, rare occasions, been successfully appealed to the High Court. When that happens, I'm obliged to grit my teeth and remind myself that it's not a legal fiction that the High Court is never wrong. But in fact, even that's wrong, as from time to time, dissenting opinions become the law. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected at this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or to take a step back when you need to. Also remember the law is a collegiate profession, and in times of difficulty, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found that out throughout my legal career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case, and I lost many more after that. Throughout my 35 years in practice, though, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the sly tactics of opposing counsel, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I hasten to add I don't include either of my fellow judges on the bench in that comment. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, can I congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.